YouTube, and a warm welcome to the Essentially Crypto channel. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm your host. And today we're going to talk about the OUP, the monster that has come out, the OUP. But we're not really going to talk about the whole thing because there's far too much to unpack. So what we're going to talk about instead is the fantastic news that OMI to Gem is back and what that is going to mean for the OMI ecosystem. But anyway, I digress. Let's move on to the main screen, shall we, so that we can see what's going on in the world of OMI, Ecomi, and all that kind of good stuff. So here we go. Here's the first thing. This is to do with crypto. Aurox, the Aurox wallet. The other day I did a video on the Aurox wallet. It's an absolutely brilliant wallet. The reason I like it, and by the way, it's not a sponsored post or anything like that. I'm not getting paid to say this. I literally really like the idea of it. It's coming out very, very soon because there's so many security features built in to this wallet. There's a way to be able to test the transaction beforehand to make sure that you're not transacting on a, or getting caught on a contract that's going to allow somebody to drain your wallet. Because incidentally, a lot of people think they're safe with the ledgers and the trezors, but if you connect to a contract and it's a malicious contract and it's set to drain your wallet and you give permission, once you sign that with your ledger anyway, you don't have to sign it every single time they want to take something. They can just take it all. So bear that in mind. Now what this wallet does, the Aurox, is it actually alerts you of what's actually going to be available for people to take in your wallet. So it's absolutely brilliant. Not only that, if you go to a phishing site or something like that, it pops up with an alert like, hey stupid, don't attach your wallet here. Stuff like that. All these sort of things that are added to the Aurox wallet makes it absolutely brilliant. And I did a video on it and I tweeted out and I just tagged them in it and they loved it by the looks of it. So therefore they were really happy with it and I was really happy with it. And I think they're going to get like a wallet to be able to test it out and show you all the features and all that kind of thing. So if not, then I'm not that worried about it. I just put my name in a waiting list, and if you haven't done it already, get over to the Aurox website so that way you can put your name in the waiting list as well, because I think this wallet is going to be a game changer for sure, especially inside of the security of Web3. But anyway, I digress. Let's move on to the next thing, and that is this. Bob Sales, this time next year. He's a newer YouTuber for Veve. If you haven't checked out his stuff, make sure you check it out. Bob Sales, this time next year. A bit of the old Rodney vibe to it, obviously. This time next year, Rodney will be millionaires. And what he's talking about here, this is on his Twitter. He says, does anyone else in England have problems with Lloyds blocking your card every time you put VV gems or dollars into Hero or whatever? And yes, the answer is yes. Whenever you're in England, a lot of banks block your cards. NatWest, Lloyds, a few others, they block your stuff, and it's really, really annoying because you can't get stuff in. So I found a walk around for this, and I'm going to tell you about it now. Basically, it's Revolut. Revolut is a bank account that is on the internet. You sign up through the Revolut app. There's a link in the comments below if you want to use it. It's one of those affiliate type links, so therefore it probably gets me something, maybe you something, I'm not 100% sure, but if you want to use it then feel free. If not, just search on the internet for Revolut. But the point is that when you sign up for it, it's brilliant because what it does is you transfer money from your bank account into Revolut, and then you can use the Revolut as basically a bank account to transfer to anywhere, or use the virtual card which you just pop up and it gives you a card number and everything just like a normal card, and you can use that to buy your crypto. And also if you want to get paid out, for instance on Binance, if you want to sell your crypto and then you want to transfer it back into a bank, sometimes in order to do that you have to, I found this to my peril when I got paid in USDT, you have to send some money to Binance in the first place in order to guarantee your bank account is proper. But the only thing is that if you can't send money out of your bank account, you can't guarantee it, can you? Whereas with Revolut, you can send it and you can get it back. So therefore, that means that if you sell your crypto, you can get it back into your Revolut and then transfer it back into your main bank account or whatever you want. Use it as a go-between, or you can use it as a bank account, whatever you want to do, because it's a pretty cool bank account and I really like it. But I'll leave the comments in the, leave the description, leave the details even in the description below, so that way you can go and find out all about it. But anyway, yeah, as I said, subscribe to Bob Sales this time next year and see what he has to talk about on Veve and Ecomi, because he's got some interesting views. Next up is this. You can now chill, study, meditate, work, and even what? Sleep. I think that's sleep. Yes, you missed out the word sleep and put an emoji. That's fine. Sleep while you burn OMI from circulating supply. Now, basically what this is one of the YouTubers, Millionaire OMI, on Twitter. He's got his channel where he does like ambient music, that kind of thing. And what he's decided to do is he's decided to open the channel up essentially so that any revenue he gets from the channel, he will buy OMI and then burn it, which It's a great idea. I was going to do a similar thing. I was going to do reading the white paper and then put adverts every 5 to 10 seconds, and then that way they're non-skippable ads, and the more people that watch it, the more OMI you will burn. However, there's a couple of caveats to it. I didn't do it for these main reasons. Firstly, is that you probably won't make much from it, to be honest. So the actual you know, taking it away from supply probably won't make a huge amount of difference, so it's probably not really worth the time to do. But, you know, if you like the idea, then feel free to go and support the channel. And also, what I don't understand is how with his sleep one and his meditate one, like, you know, if I'm meditating there, the last thing I want is a couple of adverts popping up into my meditation thing. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work in terms of, like, people actually enjoying the music anymore. I think that he'll find he'll get a lot less views on his channel, if anything, if he keeps on putting adverts everywhere in the thing, because, you know, unless he dedicates one particular bit to Omi burning, and then all the Omi fan then go, okay, let's listen to it, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So not sure how much money he's going to make for burning Omi from this, but it's up to him if he wants to do it. And yeah, go and check out his channel. He needs 1,000 subscribers in order to be able to start burning the Omi, because until he gets 1,000, he's not monetized. So therefore, also not sure how YouTube's going to feel about it, which is one of the reasons I didn't do it on my channel as well, because I don't want my channel cancelled. Because, you know, if they find out that I'm putting adverts every 5 to 10 seconds in something, they might start thinking, well, you know, what's going on there? Look at the video, see what I've said about it, and then go, okay, he's just using our revenue to thingy, so therefore, you know, we'll cancel that channel or demonetize that or whatever. They do it for less, so, you know, I'm sure it may happen. But hopefully it doesn't happen in this case, and, you know, we can burn a little bit of Omi, or maybe loads, I don't know, depends how many people watch the video. But, yeah, feel free to go and subscribe, and, yeah, that way you can get to 1,000 subscribers. Next up is this, Foster Hilt. He is one of the Omi homies, or Ecomi experts, I suppose, in Omi. Since he started his video thingies, he's been one of the go-to people who a lot of people say, oh, Foster knows. So, and he likes to talk about Omi when we're in all the, you know, all the Twitter spaces and that kind of thing. So he knows his stuff. He's come up with an idea to burn Omi for free in under 2 minutes every month, no clickbait. Well, his idea basically is to for you to use your Prime subscription, if you have Prime. There's a big caveat there, because if you don't have Prime, then you can't do it. But if you have Amazon Prime, like I do, you can donate your, as part of your Omi or your Amazon Prime, apparently. Now, I didn't know about this either, but apparently you can go on Twitch and you can sign up, and then you can use that Twitch sort of token, I guess, that you get donated every single month from Amazon Prime, and you can donate it to him. And that's like a $4 token or something every month is what you get given. And then what will happen is Amazon take a percentage of that, then he gets about $2 left of it, something like that, and then he's going to use that to burn Omi. Sounds like a great way to burn Omi. Sounds like he'd get more than doing it as a YouTube channel, because, as I said, there's a few caveats to YouTube in that sense, and they can't exactly say, oh, hey, you're not doing anything. And I suppose it builds his brand on Twitch as well, so maybe that's why he's doing it. I don't know. But either way, if you fancy signing up for Foster Hilt's thing, then go and sort it out, and you'll find the details in the comments below. Next up is this, Mr. Gene Mellon. Not gonna lie, the new OUP is complicated AF. This is true. It's so complicated. There's so much to unpack. It's absolutely ridiculous. But I'm going to try and go through a few of the things that I really, really like about it, and a few of the not so good things. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm going to leave that for other videos, and I'll sort of intersperse it when I'm talking about other things, I think, because there's so much to go through. Yeah, let's go over to the actual article itself, shall we? Okay, so Omi to Gem is back. Is absolutely fantastic. This is the thing that I wanted to talk about today. As I said, there's far too much to unpack on the other stuff, but we'll talk about this first of all. So Omi to Gem itself is brilliant. It's back. I didn't think it was coming back. Obviously, we didn't know it was coming back. I guess they had to hide it until they actually had everything configured and known what was going on. But this is brilliant. Now, to me, this kind of negates having the Omi to NFT. You don't really need it anymore, but, you know, I guess at the end of the day, people are still going to want the Omi to NFT as well, maybe. I don't know. At the end of the day, if you got Omi to Gem, you transfer your Omi into Gems, and then you can use your Gems to buy anything in the app. So, you know, it kind of makes sense to me that it's a better thing. And also, it burns every single bit of the Omi, whereas the Omi to NFT, all it does is transfer Omi to other people, essentially. So therefore, that's not burning it from supply as well. Whereas if you were to buy something in the app with the other Omi, or unless it's on the secondary market, you buy anything on the primary market, then it burns that Omi. Okay, so bear that in mind every single time. That literally is, you know, is what happens to anything that you will buy on the first primary market, which is brilliant. The fact that it burns everything. So when they've got the ability to get Omi into the app, as in like, so that way you can buy Omi in the app. I'm not talking about buying it on the exchange and transferring it in, although even that is pretty cool as well, the way it works. But if you can buy it in the app directly, that means that normal users, when they go in and they see that there's a privilege for buying gems with Omi, they will buy Omi first, and then they will buy gems And maybe they can do it in one transaction anyway. Maybe you can just click a button whether or not you buy it with OMI or whether you buy it with dollars. You know, maybe that's a possibility as well when they actually finally get the ability to buy OMI in the app. And that's going to be a crazy burn, because once they do that, if people are buying stuff with the gems, those gems get burnt and taken out of circulation. Now, they actually get sent to the reserve wallet. So essentially you can say they're not really burnt, but then obviously then when people are burning or buying, you know, collectibles, then that gets burnt from the reserve wallet. So this is basically their solution to not having to top up the burn wallet anymore with the buybacks, which is pretty cool. Now, one thing I don't understand, and I don't know if anyone can help me out in the comments here, maybe I'm going a bit crazy, but how can they, if you can buy anything at all on the app with OMI to gem, which is obviously the main idea, then how can anybody, or how do they pay for the fees they need to pay for? Because essentially you're buying OMI from the exchange, you're then swapping it into gems, and you're giving it to them, but then that automatically is burnt. So therefore they don't get any fees from that at all. So yeah, I guess it's the fact that you're buying into the OMI pool, I suppose. So therefore they're going to have to, like, how are they going to pay for those fees that they need to pay for? So maybe someone can let me know in the comments below how that's going to work. But for now, I'm not that worried. One good thing is that Reese is doing a Telegram AMA and a few other things as well, which are all on the OMI portal, which is what I'm on at the moment. And I'll leave the details of that in the comments below, just in case you don't know where they are, but you can find them on Twitter anyway. And he's going to be doing AMAs, various AMAs, and you can ask him questions, because there's still a few questions that I'd like to know for sure about what's going on with this. Like, how are they essentially going to pay for those license fees and all that sort of stuff if all the gems are being burnt? Because that was one of the issues as to why they had to take it away in the first place, other than obviously network issues and stuff with the thing itself. So I'm wondering still how they're going to pay for that, because they don't actually mention that. They literally just say that every 100% of gems that you buy with OMI is going to be put into the reserve. So, you know, let me know in the comments what you think about that and how that's going to work. Whoopsie daisy. So what else are we going to talk about? Oh, there is the only not really bad thing, but the only one thing I can say that I wasn't really quite sure of, and that is the buybacks. They said we're not doing the buybacks anymore. Now, I understand that. I understand they're not doing the buybacks because obviously compliance and stuff like that. So the remaining compliant in the face of... I'm not going to read all that, actually. Let's not bother it. So the buyback completion. So basically what they've decided to do, which is cool, and that is that they're saying that if they were to do the original buybacks and they would have bought back, then it would have been 3 billion OMI tokens that would have been burnt from the circulating supply, which is fantastic. That's great. That's 3 billion OMI tokens that would have been burnt off exchanges or whatever, because they would have to buy from the exchange to put back into the reserve. Okay? But now, what they're saying instead is that they've taken a 10% of the total gross value. So rather than the percentage they were going to take minus fees, etc., which was going to be about 3 billion, they're now burning 5.6 billion OMI tokens, which is brilliant, because that's 5.6 billion OMI tokens which are bought back from the exchange. No, that's not 5.6 billion OMI tokens bought back from the exchange. This is the bit that I don't really get, because all they're doing is they're taking it out of their business development fund. So that means they're essentially taking their own money away, but they're not going to affect the price of OMI in any way, shape or form, because it's not being bought on the exchange to make the exchange, you know, less of a way. They're taking it from a fund that nobody has access to. Does that make any sense? Am I going crazy here? I don't know, but they're taking it from the business development fund. So yes, in essence, they are still taking it from the whole supply. I understand that. It's going to reduce the supply no matter what. And you could argue that 3 billion OMI tokens probably wouldn't do much to the price anyway, and maybe 5.6 billion OMI tokens isn't going to do much to the price either, but it's still being taken from a business development fund, which I guess you could argue that in a few years' time they might have cashed in some of those tokens, or they're still putting pressure on it, so therefore they're taking them away from that, so they've got less. So, but I'm pretty sure they're going to find money from somewhere else to be able to do that. It's not like they're going to use that fund and then when it gets low, they're going to buy some off the exchange to top up that fund. That fund is simply stuff that was there for them to be able to sell the token, to be able to do things they needed to do. So I guess if they don't need to be able to do those things anymore, then that 5.6 billion that was in the business development fund has gone. But if they weren't going to spend it anyway, then it didn't really make a difference. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy on this one. Let me know in the comments what you think, because I'd love to know. I'm not trying to FUD it or anything. I think it's a great thing that they're burning 5.6 billion OMI tokens now. I just don't understand, like, by taking it out of the business development fund, does it make a difference to anything? You know, it's a bit like when they were talking about the fact that they locked up, what was it, 97 billion tokens, but those 97 billion tokens that were accidentally locked up were again from team tokens. So I guess the only thing it does do is it stops those 97 billion from being distributed between the teams, so they can therefore sell them back. But if we're sort of calculating that the team won't do that just yet anyway, doesn't really affect anything, does it? So, you know, that's just my view on it. Let me know what you think in the comments, because I'd love to get your opinions on that one. But the good thing is that even though the buybacks are gone, essentially, we've got the OMI to gem in its place, essentially, which is, that's going to burn a lot. That really will. When that's actually implemented, that is going to burn a lot for sure. And that's one of the reasons when I sort of discovered this way back in the day when OMI tokens started going up, and I was doing videos on it saying that this is going to burn a lot, and like, no one seemed to realise how much this is going to burn. But this, if everybody who was buying collectibles bought them with OMI first, so you, instead of just buying your collectibles or buying your gems, you buy your OMI first, then you transfer it into gems, every single time you're going to burn so much of it ridiculously when you're buying your collectibles. But, you know, I digress. Maybe it will be good. Maybe maybe it won't be as good as what we think. I don't know, because things keep changing. Things change on a regular basis, obviously, and they put out something and then they may have to change it for compliance or something like that, which is what they've done. This seems to be a legal way of doing it, a proper way of doing it, which is absolutely brilliant. So yeah, I'm really bullish on this, and I really hope that you know, they implement it when they say they're going to do. I guess it's going to take a long time now, though, to implement this side of things. So this is really the apple in the or the cherry on the top, so to speak. And I think that's going to take a while to implement. The other things they're going to implement as they go along, and yes, it's great, like OMI to NFT. Again, that's great, but all you're doing really is switching the OMI between the two parties, unless, of course, you count the burn in the middle, which is 1%. But obviously, that's not the whole thing. Whereas this, the actual gems to OMI, that is going to burn everything. That's going to literally wipe it off the face of the earth. So therefore, that's the bit I'm looking forward to. That's the bit that's coming, and that's the bit that's exciting. But, you know, until that sort of stuff is implemented, I think that you know, people are happy about it. But as you saw from the price that dumped, buy the rumour, sell the news, etc., etc. I think it's going to stay sort of doing its thing. I don't think we're going to see any massive highs or massive anythings until we start implementing some of this stuff. One of the cool things actually that was really good as well in the thing, and that was about land. And I heard Reese talking about this in the next AMA, so to speak, or the AMA after the AMA. He did the video on Twitter, and then after that he was in the Twitter space. And I missed some of it, but I caught some of it. And some of it was saying that basically the golden tickets, the idea is that if you have a golden ticket, you can essentially be allowed land. Now, I'm not sure if they're going to give you a piece of land or whether you still have to pay for the piece of land. I'm pretty sure he said that he hasn't really decided on that yet. And they're trying to decide whether they either just give you a piece of land, like in the Veveverse spot, like in a certain section, like Veve Homies or something, or whether they actually, you know, just give you the opportunity to buy land. So it'll be interesting to see which way they go with it, because I don't think they've decided that yet, unless I haven't read the paper properly. So therefore, as I said, let me know in the comments below. But the good news is that means that if you get a golden ticket, you're more or less guaranteed land if you want to buy it. And also that land, if you don't want to buy it, then you can sell that ticket on the you know, on the markets, whatever, and the tickets themselves will probably be worth a lot, because of the fact that there won't be that much land around. Some people are going to want to buy it, some people aren't. Some people are going to want to use their staking. If you stake for up to a year, even in the lowest tier, you get a golden ticket at the end of it. So therefore, you know, you've got to leave your stuff in there for at least a year without touching it before you can even get anything, and then you get your golden ticket, which allows you to get some land in the Veveverse. So, you know, it's all crazy stuff. There's a lot of stuff in there that's really good. The only thing I will say is it's going to take a while to implement it all, so we may be sitting here for a while twiddling our thumbs. But, you know, that's just my view on it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, don't take any of this as financial advice, investment advice, or anything like that, because crypto can go up, it can make you loads of money, or it can go down, and you can lose everything. But that is essentially crypto. Thank you very much, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye for now.